Hello students of class 7, welcome back to your online class. Today we would be continuing with the story, one of the stories which we started from your main textbook, that is The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. Okay, so open your book, page number 56. Page number 56 of your honeycomb book. So we have already understood that this story is about an old couple and their pet dog. The beautiful bond that they share with their dog becomes more strong, much more lasting when the dog discovers gold for the couple and the couple feels really grateful for the good luck that they have. Okay, so I'll be starting a little bit backwards. That means I'll be starting from the paragraph in page number 56 towards the end. I'll be starting from that because I think it will be easier for you to catch up if we start from a little bit early. So let us recapitulate a little bit. We met an old couple. They lived in Japan. Okay, it's a story which has a background of the Japanese people, and it is a story which is which is of the time period when the daimyos used to rule the Japanese. Daimyos, the meaning has been given that daimyos were the wealthy landowners in Japan. Okay, so during the kingdom of the daimyos, there lived this old couple who had a pet dog. Now this dog would accompany the old man when he went to his field. The old man was a farmer. He was a very hard-working farmer. Okay, so we also come across the fact that the dog was of a very good nature. Okay, when the old dog was being followed by any bird, like one bird used to follow, a white heron used to follow the old man, but the dog wouldn't bother the bird. Okay, so it was a good natured dog. So we are going to start from a little bit towards the end of this page, page number 56. The dog was trying to attract the attention of its master. Okay, of his master, the old man. But the old man was reluctant to move at first. He just thought maybe the dog was playing something with him. But then when the dog continuously started moving to and fro and started asking the man to follow him, the man followed him. And they came across a place, a few yards to a place where the animal began a lively scratching. Lively means energetic. Okay, full of energy he was trying to scratch up the ground. Thinking it was possibly a buried bone or a bit of fish, the old man struck his hoe on the earth when lo, a pile of gold gleamed before him. Okay, so the old man thought that maybe it's a bone which is buried under the soil and the dog just wants to eat it. And so he was trying to dig up the ground a little bit using his hoe. And the moment he started digging up, a pile of gold gleamed in front of him. It was shining. Okay, so it was a marvelous scene. So come to page number 57 now. Thus in an hour, the old couple were made rich. So because of the hidden treasure which they discovered, the old couple suddenly became very rich. The good souls bought a piece of land, made a feast for their friends, and gave plentifully to their poor neighbors. Okay, so the old couple was really a good couple. That means even when they were poor, they were good people. Even when they became rich, they were good people. They were very good and they were very charitable also. They did buy a piece of land for themselves and then they made a feast for their friends. That means they organized a big feast, a big buffet for everybody, and they asked them to come over and enjoy themselves. And then they also gave a lot of money, distributed a lot of money to their poor neighbors. Okay, so they were charitable as well as good. As for the dog, they petted him till they nearly smothered him with kindness. Okay, so they petted him. That means they were so much affectionate towards him. They were always making him feel good. Okay, they were always helping him. They were always loving him, giving him food, and they smothered him with kindness. They were so kind, it was as if suffocating the dog. But it's been used in a good way. The word smothered has been used in an optimistic manner, and it means that they were overly kind to the dog. too much kind to the dog. Now in the same village there lived a wicked old man and his wife, not a bit sensitive and kind, who had always kicked and scolded all dogs whenever any passed their house. Hearing of their neighbor's good luck, they coaxed the dog into their garden and set before him bits of fish and other dainties, hoping he would find treasure for them. But the dog, being afraid of the cruel bear, would neither eat nor move. You see, these dogs, the animals, they have a good sense, they have a good instinct, they instinctively understand who are good people, who are bad people. So there was this neighbor, in the same neighborhood there was a wicked couple. Okay, bad, wicked means evil, wicked means very bad or evil. So there was an evil couple who lived in the same neighborhood, and they were not at all sensitive. That means they did not care about other people's feelings and emotions, and they were not even kind. Okay, so there was this couple, and what would they do? They would always kick and scold all dogs whenever any passed their house. That means they were very cruel to the dogs. Okay, and they would kick them or scold them whenever they passed their house. So this was a very bad thing. However, when they heard of their neighbor's good luck, they heard about the story how the dog had helped the neighbors find the treasure. When they heard about it, what did they do? They coaxed the dog into their garden. Look at the meaning of coaxed. It means persuaded. Okay, they tried to bring the dog into their garden, and they set before him bits of fish. They knew that the dog wanted to eat something good, and lots of little dainties, that means good tasty food, they set for him in order to make him feel greedy or hungry. Okay, and then they thought that maybe the dog would guide them to a treasure. But the dog, being afraid of the cruel pair, would neither eat nor move. So the dog was very afraid of the cruel old couple. Okay, and so he did not move at all. Then they dragged him out of doors, taking a spade and hoe with them. So both are farming equipments. They took a spade and a hoe with them and dragged him. That means forcefully pushed him into the garden. No sooner had the dog got near a pine tree growing in the garden than he began to paw and scratch the ground as if a mighty treasure lay beneath. So no sooner than means just as soon as he came into the garden, he went near a pine tree. Okay, out of doors, not in the garden, there was a pine tree, and he went near it, and then he started scratching the tree. And this man and woman thought that maybe there's a treasure hidden, and that's why he's scratching. "Quick, wife, hand me the spade and hoe," cried the greedy old fool as he danced with joy. He was so greedy, even without verifying the facts that a dog might just be searching for a bone or something like that. He started jumping with joy that as if already they have become rich. Then the covetous old fellow with the spade and the old crone with a hoe began to dig, but there was nothing but a dead kitten, the smell of which made them drop their tools and shut their noses. So you see, covetous means greedy, and crone has been used in a derogative fashion to mean this woman, this old woman. Okay, so it has been used in an insulting fashion, and both of them started digging the soil. But when they discovered that it's a dead kitten, they had to shut their nose. Furious at the dog, the old man kicked and beat him to death. Just imagine, such bad people. They killed the dog just because of their greed. They killed the dog. And the old woman finished the work by nearly chopping off his head. Can you imagine such cruelty coming from an old couple? But they were really cruel and very, very insensitive. And the poor dog, the poor pathetic dog, had to die such a bad death at the hands of those bad people. Then they flung him, chopping means cutting like this, okay, like vegetable chopping you do. So she nearly cut off his head. Then they flung him into the hole and heaped the earth over his carcass. That means the hole which they have dug, they put him into the same hole, and then they put some mud over it. The owner of the dog heard of the death of his pet, and mourning for him as he had been his own child, went at night under the pine tree. And the owner of the dog was so sad because of this bad tragic news that hit him. He was mourning the death of the dog. Mourning means crying. Okay, he was crying, feeling extremely hopeless at the fact that his favorite pet, who was just like a baby to them, was dead, was no more. And not just that, he had died a very cruel death. Okay, so it was very pathetic for him. It was a tragic condition for them. So he went at night to the pine tree. He set up some bamboo tubes in the ground, such as are used before tombs. So he tried to give the dog a proper burial. Okay, and so he set up some bamboo tubes in the ground, such as are used before tombs, in which he put fresh flowers, and in those tubes he put fresh flowers to decorate the grave of the dog. Then he laid a cup of water and a tray of food on the grave and burned several costly sticks of incense. Okay, so he kept some food and some water for the dead dog, and he also burned some incense sticks. He mourned a great while over his pet, calling him many dear names as if he were alive. So he was mourning the dog and he was calling him by all the adorable names that he used to call him with when he was alive. That night, the spirit of the dog appeared to him in a dream and said, "Cut down the pine tree over my grave and make from it a mortar for your rice pastry and a mill for your bean sauce." So make a mortar, make a bowl for your rice pastry. Make a rice pastry, that means a food that they make by boiling rice. Okay, they make it by not boiling, I think grinding rice. They make some kinds of pastry, and that food you will make it from the pine tree. That container you will be making from the pine tree. And the mill also, for keeping the bean sauce, you will be making using the pine tree. So use the stem of the pine tree to make a mortar and a mill. So the old man chopped down the tree and cut out of the middle of the trunk a section about 2 feet long. With great labor, partly by fire, partly by the chisel, he scraped out a hollow place as big as the small bowl. So the old man chopped down the tree and cut out the middle of the trunk. That means he cut the tree, and from the middle portion of the tree, he cut out a portion, about 2 feet long portion, and then he scraped out a hollow bowl shaped part from the tree using a chisel and using fire. Chisel is another kind of tool. Okay, if you can Google up the names chisel, spade, hoe. Okay, and then you can understand exactly what tools they are. You have seen those tools, but you can see it in Google image, so that it would be more for imagining the tools which he used, it would be easier for you. He then made a long handled hammer of wood, such as is used for pounding rice. Then he made a hammer of wood out of that pine tree. When New Year's time drew near, he wished to make some rice pastry. When the rice was all boiled, Granny put it into the mortar. That means when the rice was fully boiled, she put it into the bowl which was made by the old man who had made the bowl. The old woman put the boiled rice into that bowl. Okay. The old man lifted his hammer to pound the mass into dough, and the blows fell heavy and fast till the pastry was all ready for baking. And then the old man started pounding the mass into dough. The rice mass which was there, okay, the boiled rice which was there, he started pounding it so that it becomes a dough, a thick paste, which can be used for baking. Suddenly the whole mass turned into a heap of gold coins. Okay, suddenly that whole mass of dough changed into gold coins. When the old woman took the hand mill and filling it with beans began to grind, the gold dropped like rain. Okay, and when he filled the mill with the hand mill which he has made, and she filled it with beans, and then she started grinding the beans, the gold dropped like rain. That means from both the rice pastry as well as from the bean sauce, the gold was being made, because it was made with the wood of the pine tree, which was like a symbol of the dog's love for the old couple. So it was like a magical thing, a magical gift which the dog's legacy has left behind for the old man and woman. Okay. Meanwhile, the envious neighbor peeped in at the window when the boiled beans were being ground. Again, the envious neighbor was still spying over them, and they saw how the beans were becoming gold coins. Okay. Goody me, cried the old hag as she saw each dripping of sauce turning into yellow gold. She could see that from the mill, the moment the sauce was coming out of that mill, it was changing into gold coin. Okay, and she was so much greedy after seeing that. So she's saying goody me. Goody me is actually goodness me from the word good. Okay, it's a colloquial way of speaking. Until in a few minutes the tub under the mill was full of shining mass of gold. The entire tub in which they were preparing the food, it was full of gold. Okay, so let us stop over here in today's session. We would be continuing with the story in the next session. Okay, so study the entire story well and try to find out if you have any difficulty in it. Then you can interact with me in the OE portal. Just show me or tell me at which part you couldn't understand. Okay, tell me the page number and tell me the phrase which you couldn't understand or the line which you couldn't understand. Okay, study well.